Providing a stimulating environment within an early childhood classroom supports a student's brain development. Every child is unique in the way they learn, and it is important for the educator to know how to provide activities that will foster brain development in both hemispheres of the brain.
There are a few influences that affect brain development.
First, a child's genetic makeup can influence brain development, but genetics alone does not determine brain structure.
The environment in which a child is around will influence the child's brain development. The richer the environment, the more neural connections will be made. Children need a stimulating environment in order to achieve optimal learning and brain development.
Critical periods refer to a window of opportunity during which certain experiences are necessary for the brain to develop normally, as well as corresponding cognitive skills. If these skills are not met during this time, it may be impossible for the skill to develop fully.
Experient expectant plasticity refers to the ability the brain has to fine-tune its powers to adapt to environmental conditions. For example, if a person has a non-seeing eye, the brain will compensate for this by enhancing other senses.
Experience-dependent plasticity refers to the emergence of skills that are unique to particular cultures or social groups. If a person moves from a rural area to an urban area, the brain will have to develop new neural connections to help the person in their new living conditions.
To continue, there are two hemispheres of the brain, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. Some people call it left-brained and right-brained. In actuality, all people use both sides of their brain for learning. As educators, it is important for us to know the different characteristics of the left and right brains so we can provide learning activities that are for the left brain and for the right brain.
The left brain is typically known as the more logical, sequential, rational, analytical, and objective part of the brain,
where the right brain is typically known as more random, intuitive, holistic, synthesizing, and subjective.
Now let's look at us. Lauren, who is very left-brained, pays very close attention to detail. She has to have everything in a specific order that makes sense to her, and follows a sequential pattern when completing tasks.
Hannah, on the other hand, who is right-brained, is very random. When attempting to complete tasks, she tends to skip from one task to another. She loves being creative and solves problems intuitively.
As future educators, it is important to incorporate activities that will help your students develop both sides of the brain. For example, you could allow your students to pick a topic they would like to research. To help develop the left side of the brain, you can assign students to conduct research on the topic. The students will have to pay close attention to details, as well as organize their information in a logical format.
To help develop the right side of the brain, you can allow students to explore their creative side by providing different media and materials for them to present their information.
In our practicum placements, we have seen the use of different left and right brain activities. For example, during writing, Lauren's cooperating teacher gives the students graphic organizers to help them organize their information before they begin a writing assignment. This is more of a left brain activity.
Hannah's cooperating teacher teaches the students different songs during math. The singing of the song is more of a right-brained activity.
When teaching, you must make sure the information is relevant to your students. Our book states that if the information is not relevant, the students will dismiss the information you are trying to teach them.
Also, it is important to provide practice for different skills that are being taught in the early childhood classroom. By providing practice and repetition, this allows for the brain to develop these important skills that will be used throughout a lifetime.
It is important to make sure that activities that happen in the classroom address all learning styles, because as we have learned, some of our students are more left-brained and the others are more right-brained.
It is important as educators to provide learning activities that foster both hemispheres of the brain development. Even though left and right brain people seem to be complete opposites, they do work well together. Just look at us. We are total opposites but work on almost every group project together. Take a look at where we sit.
Are you more left-brained like Lauren?
Or right-brained like Hannah?
Created using Powtoon.